Stage 3 of the National Capital Tour for the women is 75 kilometres, starting and finishing from here at the Stromlo Forest Park. Stromlo Forest Park has a purpose-built and pristine criterium course, and the mountain bike trails are some of the best in Australia. They also played host to the World Mountain Bike Championships in 2009. Now, the overall race leader, Ruth Corset, has a handy but small 10-second lead over Queenslander Ainsley Backer, and Backer's Queensland teammate, Lucy Kennedy, is third at 20 seconds. When they came to the first intermediate sprint of the day, it was Kate Perry picking up the bonus points on offer. A group of 6 riders formed off the front of the main field. They stretched their lead out to 1 minute and 30 seconds as they passed some of the monuments of Canberra. Lynn Clark from Boss Racing was very prominent in the next bunch of intermediate sprints, picking up lots of time bonuses.
Yeah, I've come through with the Sprinters jersey so far, so yeah, it's quite exciting. It's only my third NRS, so I'm pretty excited to be in that position.
The fast-moving peloton closed in on the breakaway group, and shortly before the finish, it was all back together.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting finish actually. It was very, very fast approach into Stromlo Forest Park and up a little climb. Lucy, another local rider from Bike Superstore, she went and she got a really great gap.
And she was hoping to hold on for a solo victory. But the powerful track specialist, Rebecca Wiasak, had other plans. As she came around the final turn, she closed down Betchel to sprint past to take the stage victory.
Amazing, Ruth. Seriously, when you went with Lou, that's perfect. That's exactly what I told you to do. I heard Kendall yelling at like, you got to go, and was able to punch on top of her, and I think able to raise 2 hands in the air for the very first time, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Ruth Corset extends her lead in the CIC Australia Leaders Competition by 11 seconds to Ainsley Backer and 27 seconds to Lucy Betchel.
Stage 3, 75 kilometres with 6 intermediate sprints, 3 seconds for if you win it, which will be hard with only a 6-second lead over Joe Cooper, and I think Avanti will try and use their numbers against us, but I think we'll give it a red-hot crack to try and hold on to the lead, but I'm happy where I am. I've got nothing to lose, so I'm happy.
Almost immediately after the start, the attacks started coming thick and fast. Not long after the first intermediate sprint, a group of 6 riders formed off the front of the main field and started working very well together. With a furious pace, the riders weren't thinking too much about the beautiful scenery around them as they went past Parliament House and along the shores of Lake Burley Griffin. As the gap to the lead group started to open up, the race leader Lucas Hamilton was showing signs of nervousness. As the peloton went into the tunnel, there was drama as the race leader Lucas Hamilton crashed heavily onto his face.
Unfortunately, there was just a pothole that no one saw, and he sort of hit that and went over the handlebars and had a really nasty crash.
And after being tended to by medical services, he was forced to withdraw from the event. Out of respect to the yellow jersey, the peloton eased its pace off, which allowed the breakaway group to go out to a 2-minute lead. Eventually, the peloton did start chasing again, but they wouldn't catch the leaders as the breakaway group came into Stromlo Forest Park. And in the final sprint to the line, it was Josh Taylor from CharterMason coming away with the stage win, ahead of African Wildlife Safari's Pat Lane, and third was Matt Clark from Avanti Racing.
Mum's turn.
Unreal, mate, unreal. I didn't think that break would stay, but yeah, it did, so unreal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess I could only get up for third, but the team's in a pretty good position heading into the final stage.
With another race leader abandoning the event, Joe Cooper now inherits the overall race lead. Once again, it was a fast and furious start to the women's final stage of the National Capital Tour. As they went round the very picturesque Stromlo Forest Criterium course, the attacks came very early on. Even though there'd been several attacks throughout the stage, nothing was able to stick, and it was all back together as they came to the last lap of the race. Motoring around the final turn up into the finish line, it was clear Rebecca Wiasak was going to go back-to-back after winning stage 3. She sprints to the line to pick up stage 4 as well, just in front of her teammate Kendall Hodges and the yellow jersey wearer of Ruth Corset.
2 years ago when I last raced here in Canberra at the National Capital Tour, I did the double on the Sunday, and all week I've kind of been thinking about it, but I can't thank my team enough. We got Ruby in as a guest rider this weekend, and Kendall actually got second in the sprint finish today, so to go 1-2 for High5 Dream Team is just an absolute amazing result. We did it! How exciting!
The overall victory in the CIC National Capital Tour goes to Ruth Corset, 13 seconds ahead of Ainsley Backer and 29 seconds ahead of Lucy Bechtel. After a strong performance over the weekend, Lynn Clark wins the Vi-13 sprint classification. The best climber over the weekend was Ruth Corset, winning the Rolf Subaru Climbers Championship. Crossing from triathlon to cycling, Ainsley Backer from Queensland takes out the Tiffin & Co Young Rider Award. The Queensland Emerging Talent Squad team took out the team's classification.
The time gap currently for GC is Matt Clark, I think at 5 seconds, and Pat Lane, who moved himself to within 6 seconds. So, I mean, the top 3 is, you can throw a blanket over it really.
After a fast start, a few of the early attacks failed, and then Sean Lake, 4th in the overall classification, went on the march.
It was good, me being up the road, putting a bit of pressure on them, and quite a few joined, and it was a strong break.
With it looking like Avanti not too concerned with bringing the breakaway group back, Budget Forklifts then took over the pace setting to bring it back for their man, Scott Sunderland. Just as the breakaway group was about to get caught, the final desperate move came from Nathan Elliott from Navitas Saddlist, with only a couple of laps remaining. As they came down the back straight on the final lap, the race was all back together, and it looked as if Budget was setting up their man Sunderland. As they came around the last corner, it was Sam Whitmitz from Budget Forklifts hitting out early, his teammate Scott Sunderland going over the top and sprinting easily to victory in front of Whitmitz, and Michael Schweitzer from African Wildlife Safaris 3rd.
It's great to be in a great environment with Budget Forklift, and with the transition from sprinting, it just keeps getting better and better, and I really enjoy being in the team.
After the misfortune of 2 previous leaders, Joe Cooper from Avanti Racing takes out the CIC Australia National Capital Tour 5 seconds ahead of his teammate Matthew Clark, and African Wildlife Safaris rider Patrick Lane was 3rd at 6 seconds.
It's definitely awesome to win. Tour of Canberra is sort of missing from my CV, so it's another one on the NRS calendar I can say I've won, and there's only 1 or 2 other events I haven't won, so next year they're on the radar.
Next up on the series, they head to the Tour of Tasmania.